What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. New Orleans quarterback Drew Brees made some disappointing comments about Colin Kaepernick and his protest, saying that he felt that Colin Kaepernick was disrespecting the flag and he would never understand why Colin Kaepernick chose to kneel in protest. He referenced his grandfather who served in the military, and he referenced all the men and women who served the military over the years and said that was total disrespect on Colin Kaepernick's part, kneeling before the National Anthem. Surprising and disappointing comments by Drew Brees, especially with what's going on right now with these protests and George Floyd's murder. Breonna Taylor was murdered. Ahmaud Arbery that got murdered while jogging. You know, and there's a lot of protests in the streets. And all 50 states were protesting as of yesterday, and there's protests taking place today too. So it's very, very disappointing comments by Drew Brees, man. Just it's straight out of the conservative playbook, man. You know, just it's a disconnect there. You're trying to. It's like apples and oranges. You know. There, when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling, he was not disrespecting the military. He was not protesting the flag. Had nothing to do with that. He was protesting the death of unarmed black men, which is why we're out here protesting the last several days. And all 50 states have had some form of protest. And that's what Colin Kaepernick was talking about. So Drew Brees is just, going to be on the wrong side of history, man. Hopefully, he'll be able to talk with his teammates on the New Orleans Saints team, and they can kind of talk to him and give him their side of the things of what's really been going on, man. And maybe he can finally see the light, man. But he's basically talking out that Republican conservative playbook with those troubling statements about Colin Kaepernick and his protests, man. And it's kind of a sad situation, but it's kind of symbolizes what Colin Kaepernick was protesting when he was kneeling, and it's kind of symbolic that George Floyd lost his life when a cop kneeled on his neck, and that's exactly what Colin Kaepernick was doing when he was protesting. When he was kneeling to protest the violence of unarmed black men, and people like Drew Brees failed to recognize that, failed to correlate the message that Colin Kaepernick has been doing for the last several years. So it's just a sad commentary by Drew Brees. Like I said, Malcolm Jenkins, a teammate of his with the New Orleans Saints safety that they just brought in, he was previously on the New Orleans Saints team, came out with a passionate statement saying that, he viewed Drew Brees as a friend, and he's just troubled by his comments, and he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that what we've been going on with as far as the black community for 400 years, the plight we had, the different struggles. He made a reference to his grandfather serving in the military, and when his grandfather served in the military and came back home, and it wasn't a great welcome when he came back home. He still didn't have equal rights. He still had to deal with obstacles and issues with the government and the white man, the oppressor. They still had to deal with those things after going to war and fight for their country. So people need to understand that America, when you look at the whole history of America, it's not peaches and cream. It's not roses. It's a lot of darkness, and people need to recognize that. They're quick to say, "Oh, this is a great country. This is a beautiful country." In some ways, in some aspects, it is, but it's a lot of darkness going on throughout this history of this country, and people need to recognize that. And when people try to bring light to that, they shouldn't be, cast aside. They shouldn't be dismissed. They shouldn't be trivialized. They shouldn't be led astray and try to switch up the conversation to try to make it look like they're trying to disrespect the flag, disrespect the military, and that never was the case with Colin Kaepernick. He was just trying to bring light to an ongoing issue with violence of unarmed black men at the hands of a police department. And you see what happened with the George Floyd case that symbolized what Colin Kaepernick was trying to bring light to for all these years, for not all these years, for these last 2 or 3 years. Colin Kaepernick tried to bring that to light, and this stuff has been going on for many, many, many centuries, 400 years to be exact. So let me know what you think in the comment section about the troubling, sad statements by quarterback Drew Brees. Saying that he didn't like Colin Kaepernick's protest. He said he felt it disrespected the flag and disrespected the men and women in the military. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I think it's apples and oranges. I think he's missing the point. Colin Kaepernick intention never was to disrespect the flag, never was to disrespect the military. His protest was all about, unarmed black men getting killed at the hands of police that have been going on for a long time. It's systematic racism that was going on. Systematic racism going on in the judicial system, in the police system, in the court system. When black men are getting overcharged, white police officers getting undercharged, as you saw in this case with George Floyd, as the officer was first charged with third-degree murder and finally was upgraded to second-degree murder. Now the other 3 officers who sat and didn't do anything, didn't intervene, and was complicit in George Floyd murder, they got charged with aiding and abetting. So it's, and I feel that's an undercharge. I feel they should have been charged with something a little bit more stiffer. But that's what's been going on for a long time here in the United States, man. And Colin Kaepernick was just trying to bring all that to light, and people like Drew Brees still don't get it, still don't understand. Hopefully one day they'll get it, man. But right now, Drew Brees, you're on the wrong side of history. You need to open your mind, open your heart, and understand what Colin Kaepernick was actually trying to do. And hopefully some of the teammates on New Orleans Saints will be able to talk to Drew Brees and open his mind, open his heart, and give him a full understanding, a broad side view of what's been going on in the black community for a long, long time. And hopefully he'll take heed to those words and be able to come out. Everybody, no matter how old you is, you can always learn. And hopefully Drew Brees will learn from this situation. We'll see what happens, man. But let me know what you think about Drew Brees and his comments about Colin Kaepernick's protest. Do you think he was right or you think he was wrong? Let me know what you think. And subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.